Hello and welcome to this game review. So this is a 5+0 game, and generally I wouldn't really suggest analyzing Blitz games, as the point of game analysis is to think about your own thought process, and in Blitz games there's not really any thought process. We should play longer time control games and really show what we can do on the chessboard. So, as is so often the case, in these games what will dominate are captures and checks. We should always check what our opponent can capture, what we can capture. Before making our move, we should always do this type of blunder check. So let's take a look. So it started as the fried liver attack. Black played d5, which is the correct move, and then played knight a5, which is also the correct move, so very good. And white makes a mistake. Bishop b5 is the best move here, after which usually something like this happens, where white is a pawn ahead, but his pieces are a bit badly placed, so black has enough compensation. Instead, what happens here is black simply takes back the pawn. Now he has a pawn in the center against no pawn, and also he has somewhat of an initiative because the knight is attacked. And here white plays this move, rook a5, kind of developing the rook, kind of attacking the knight, but we should always ask ourselves, what can we capture? And if we look at the position a bit more deeply, the only thing we can capture is this knight, which is not defended. Sometimes the bishop defends this knight, but if we look at the position, this time it's not defended. Sure, white can take this knight now as it is not defended anymore, but again the same question, what can we capture? We can capture on g2, and now this is also a fork. Both rooks are attacked. The rook can also capture here with check, and after something like bishop e6, or developing the other bishop, we can castle queenside, and we will have quite a good position because our pieces are all well developed. The rook, the bishop, the other bishop, the queen, while white's king is in big trouble. Instead c6, this also attacks the rook. b4, this kind of defends the rook, but also this puts a pawn in harm's way. But of course, black now noticed that he can capture a pawn. But what's better than capturing a pawn? Well, again, capturing a knight. So instead this happens. Now the knight is hanging again. Black instead defends the bishop, but the bishop was already defended. We should not think about what to defend in chess. We should always think about what to attack or capture. So a few moves later, finally black sees that the knight can be captured. And now white is in big trouble as he is 2 pawns down, and he also has no castling rights, and his pieces are all badly placed. Black castles. He could already kind of win the game by looking for attacks, and bishop h3 threatens to take the rook on f1, and white cannot really do much about this. For example, if he defends, we will take it anyway, because at the end of all of these captures, we have won a rook for a bishop. So instead castles, rook g4, again, what can we capture? Sure, we can capture a pawn, but what's better than capturing a pawn? Well, capturing a rook, either with the queen or with the bishop. And again, this is the thing about Blitz games, this is more of a guessing game, and we're not really playing chess at this point. So instead, queen h2, d4, now black takes the rook, takes back. A few moves later, black is now up a rook, and he should be winning when he gets his rooks into the game, but instead he starts playing a bit strangely, h6, and then a4. This move seems a bit useless here. This pawn is not really going anywhere as this point is defended well. Instead, if rook e8, then we can easily attack the king on the e file, which will soon open, and white is in huge trouble. a4, now knight d5, c4. Now black plays this move b5, but this completely ignores what our opponent can capture. Before imagining that we have played this move, let's ask ourselves what the opponent's idea is, and also if we had the pawn on b5, what could the opponent capture? Well, he can capture there, but mainly the knight. So now, after bishop f4, black again doesn't ask himself what can our opponent capture if we play the move we want to play, and he plays it without thinking much, and then there goes the queen. And from here not much happens. White is now a lot of material up, and he wins even though he also blunders a knight. White has enough pieces to attack the opponent even though he blunders more pieces, but eventually it ends with checkmate. So generally I wouldn't really suggest playing blitz games. As we can see, the quality is not really there. We're kind of just guessing the moves, and we're not taking the opponent's pieces. So instead I would suggest playing longer time controlled games and analyzing them afterwards.